Hello friends, this is League on Lock and our countdown for the power rankings in the LCK continue, joined by Mark today, and we're on to number 7. Not quite playoff teams yet, but definitely out of the relegation and promotion tournament worries because these are your middle of the pack teams.
Yeah, these are the guys that you have to be looking at these teams to at least be pushing for these playoff spots to create some interesting matchups towards the end of the splits. You'd think that there will be something to be played for these teams to try and at least push into that playoff spot. But right now, I think that who's going to be coming here at number 7 will fall just short.
And they fell just short in 2018 summer, one game or one tiebreaker away. Talking about Hanwha Life, and it wasn't just summer that they just came up short. It was spring as well. They were that final seed just outside of playoffs, watching all the other LCK teams take part in the tournament. But it's going to be a bit of a step back, but really only because the rest of the competition for the LCK is just at another level. On paper, this roster for Hanwha Life actually looks pretty decent, and I would say an upgrade from what we saw last year.
You're not kidding about it being an upgrade over last year's team. When you look at the names here right away, jumping right into the jungle there, Mujin should be a player to watch in this lineup for Hanwha Life moving forward. This is an exciting player for this team, and I think that if he can develop some strong chemistry here with the likes of Tall in the top lane, you could have something going on here, but you said it. The big problem is, yes, this is an upgraded Hanwha Life Esports lineup, but what are you going into, man? You're going into a bunch of other teams here in the LCK that have upgraded and upgraded even more so than you have.
And Sang-yoon is a guy who has played on some definitely subpar rosters and still been able to perform as one of the better AD carries in the LCK. Last split, I mean, you saw them playing funnel around him a couple of times. That mainly because everyone was playing funnel. But Hanwha Life had some really fantastic wins in the summer split against some of the best teams in the league, and that was with some inconsistent play in the top lane. Now, I'm not saying Tall is by any means a consistent top laner, but we did see at times with SKT that he had the makings of a potentially upper tier top laner.
Right, and that's the important thing to remember is, yes, even though there were some struggles with his time on SKT, and Tall never really became that top lane threat that you wanted, that you needed to have on an SKT. I think that he has shown some improvement over the course of his career. I think he has still developed a lot of the skills that you need to have to be that top lane threat that the LCK demands you to have on your roster, and it'll be interesting to see if this year he can finally hit that next level, be able to withstand all that pressure that will be coming through, because as we know, that top lane role here in the LCK, especially here now in 2019, is such a vital role to be able to actually find something there or to withstand the pressure that you'll be taking.
And it seemed to be either Tall would carry a game for SKT to victory or be one of the contributing and main contributing factors to them losing.
Yeah, a lot of times it did end up being that Tall would not find a way to take in the pressure that was always happening there with SKT or find any type of way to communicate, develop that synergy with the jungler here. And I think that's the important thing moving forward for Hanwha Life. If you can get Tall working with Mujin, I think you can find something special there up there in that top lane with the jungle synergy.
And I'm excited to see the development of Lava in that mid lane because he was also, when they finally stuck with him as the main starter in that mid lane, he looked pretty solid, and I'm excited to see he's still a very young player, so still plenty to prove in his career, and I think with a more consistent roster around him, he's going to be looking better here in 2019, but Mark alluded to it, talking about Mujin. He's going to be the guy to be checking out for them, and if they want to exceed this 7th place, I think they do have a chance to do just that, and it's if Mujin plays like he did in the LMS. But yeah, the LMS, the competition is a little less high than the LCK.
Absolutely going to be the big question mark here for not only Hanwha Life, but of course, especially Mujin.
Because he dominated in the LMS.
No doubts about that. Without anything, he totally crushed the competition there in the LMS, especially in this summer split here, picking up some incredible numbers there, first in the KDA, and then, of course, the goal difference that he was able to generate there, being #1 there in the LMS, was some strong play from Mujin, but you said it. This is a huge step up moving from the depths of the LMS and the talent that is there all the way through to the talent that will be here on a night-to-night, day-to-day basis here in the LCK. You're going up against different story. But what we have seen from Mugen across the play, across international play as well, is that this is someone that has the skills to step up, and it's about time that we see him go up against some of the world's best talent.
Right, we did see him at tournaments like MSI and less so at Worlds because Flash Wolves kind of floundered out at the end, but he was competing with some of the very best. I'm just very curious what level he can get to, because when you're playing on Flash Wolves and pretty much every single lane is dominating across the board, it makes jungling a whole lot easier. I don't think he's going to have that luxury here in 2019.
No, and that is something we've talked about many times in the past years, how important it is for the jungle position to have those lanes be viable to go to actually have them in positions where you can cause something to snowball for your team into an advantage there, or be able to help out, alleviate some of the pressure at times. These will be important things for Mugen to adapt to and be able to provide at an LCK level.
And I mean, if he plays close to the level that he did at the LMS, I think maybe Hanwha can finish higher than 7 and maybe even fight or battle for that final playoff spot, just like they did throughout the entirety of 2018.
Hey, if Mugen brings that LMS style here to the LCK and is able to style and stunt on people the same way, I'll tell you what, Hanwha Life has found a steal of the offseason and will find themselves in the playoffs for the spring split.
Tall and Mugen are reunited from the Red Bull Esports days, but Top and Jungle might be the most stacked duo in the entire LCK for the 2019 spring split.